everyone, Draco Magnius here for another 0.5 episode of Virtue's Last Reward, and you've guessed it! We're here to cover I almost said security room. We're here to cover the crew quarters secrets. So without further ado, let's get started with Primary Chromatic Door. There are a total of 7 varieties of chromatic doors in the Nonary game facility, one for each of the following colors: cyan, magenta, yellow, red, green, blue, and white. The primary chromatic doors will open at a specified time. Participants can see how much time is left until the primary doors open by pressing the buttons on both sides of their bracelet. Secondary chromatic door. Several conditions must be met by the group that enter the primary door in order for the secondary door to open. There must be 2 pair bracelets and 1 solo bracelet. The color of all 3 bracelets must together form either the color of the door they are trying to enter or its complementary color. That's kind of hard to remember though, so let's look at it like this instead. Red plus blue equals open magenta secondary door. It should be purple, but that's neither here nor there. Green plus green opens the magenta secondary door. Green plus red opens the yellow secondary door. Blue plus blue can open the yellow secondary door. Blue plus green can open the cyan secondary door, and red plus red can open the cyan secondary door. Now let's find out what the EU is about. Stands for Erotic Units. EU is a system developed to measure combination of physical, emotional, and situational attractiveness. It ranges from 0 to 20, where 20 might be Marilyn Monroe, and 0 might be Gilbert Gottfried. For the curious, Danny Trejo rates at 16 EU. Just being sexy does not guarantee a high EU rating. Not to be confused with the competing system of hotness or sexability. The EU system weighs a number of factors such as practicality, sustainability, emotional investments, and bias of the observer. Women with a high EU rating have usually mastered the art of the tease. Grandpa Videos. A collection of films that Tenmyoji has gathered. The content isn't really explicit per se, but they still aren't really appropriate for someone Quark's age. It should be noted that the term does not imply the videos contain grandpas or grandpa-like actors. Sigma's Cat Problem, Part 1. Sigma has a strange verbal, and possibly psychological, tic which causes him to make cat puns whenever he talks about cats. The cause of this behavior seems to be an experience he had as a child. When Sigma was in preschool, there was a deserted house near his school that everyone called the Cat Mansion. He always loved cats, so every day he would visit the Cat Mansion and give the cats that lived there some of his lunch. One day he realized that he could understand what the cats were saying to one another. A magical black cat appeared and told him that it had given him this gift in exchange for giving food to its fellows. But, the magical cat said, ... to be continued. Sigma's Cat Problem, Part 2. You can never tell anyone about your gift, the magical black cat warned. If you do, you'll be cursed. But young Sigma was so happy about his newfound ability that he slipped and told a girl about it, so the black cat cursed him. His curse was to speak only cat puns for the rest of his life. Fortunately for him, a magical white cat came along soon afterward, felt the curse was a little too harsh and lessened it, so that he would only talk in cat puns whenever he talked about cats, and they lived happily ever after. What a marvelous story. Huh, children? Let's move on to phone. A device that converts sound to electrical signals and transmits them over a wire so they can be decoded and played back on the other end. It is useful for speaking to people who are far away. The invention of the telephone was generally credited to Alexander Graham Bell in 1876, but there is a dispute in some circles as to whether or not this is the truth. In the game, there is a phone in one of the cabins. It can call outside the facility. But what if you try something like 5309 or 6969? Other numbers might do other things, so give it a try. Already did! Beat you to it, game! But with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to end this 0.5 episode here, and I'll see you all in the actual episodes.